If you can follow simple steps, I can help you build a 10K a month coaching business, even if you're starting from scratch. And literally in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can start your own coaching business from the ground up, so you can literally start this business straight away and start making some serious money. And the best part about this business model is that it's extremely beginner friendly. Now, before we continue the video, I am going to explain how you can start this and give you the full blueprint. However, if you do need guided help with this, where I'll work with you on a one-to-one basis and scale you to 10K a month within 3 months of working with me, well, make sure you click the link in the description and book in a call with me. And what we'll do is jump on a call and I can see exactly how I can help you. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the video. Now, before you start this business model, right, you need a skill, okay? So I have gone into depth in regards to how you can find your skill. There is a separate video for that, which you can find on my channel. But essentially, right, you're gonna find a skill. So what you're gonna do is find a skill. Now, this skill, right, can be anything. It doesn't have to be something you're world class at. Like, a lot of people think that, you know, they need to have a skill that they're an expert level on, or, you know, they're really, really good at that skill. No. You don't need to be an expert at the skill. In fact, it's probably better you're not an expert at the skill, because if you're working with beginners, you're closer to their level. So it's easier for them to get results. So identify a skill. Again, I've got another video which explains how you can do this. So once you find your skill that you're going to sell to your high ticket clients, you now need to package that skill into a program. Now, if you are a beginner and you've never done this before, I wouldn't recommend charging monthly, right? You can obviously charge monthly. Again, it depends on your niche. But what I would recommend that you guys do, especially if you're starting out, is that you package it into a program. So package your skill into a program, and you need to find out exactly how long it takes for someone to learn your skill, right? So does it take them 2 months? Does it take them 3 months? Does it take them even 6 months, right? Find out on average how long it takes to, you know, learn this skill, because once you find that out, it'll give you a great idea in regards to how long it's actually going to take, which means that you can actually price your program fairly, not just for your clients, but for yourself too. So I'm just going to give a random example, right? So let's say your skill is video editing. Okay, so let's say your skill is video editing and you're going to create a program teaching others how to edit videos really good. Now, you're not just going to have a program, you know, how to edit videos better or that kind of stuff, right? You have to position it in such an attractive way that your clients will basically say, you know what, this sounds like a great program and this might actually help me. So for example, right, let's say obviously you're teaching video editing, but you need to find out exactly who you're going to target. So let's say in this case, you want to target YouTubers, right? Okay. So you want to target YouTubers. Okay, so now you know exactly who you're targeting. You need to understand their sort of characteristics, what they do, that kind of stuff, right? So for example, YouTubers, they need videos edited, so they need the editing services. Now, what are they going to get out of editing, right? What do YouTubers get out of editing? Well, firstly, it will save time. Right? Because if they're not good at video editing and it takes them a long time to edit videos, then yeah, them learning how to edit videos correctly is going to save them a lot of time. Now, even the people that you're going to attract, right, are going to be very specific people, because a lot of people that are YouTubers, right, they most likely will outsource the editing at some point. But teaching people how to edit is, again, it's a great skill, right? And some people prefer to edit their own videos, even though, you know, they could save a ton of time by getting someone else to edit for them. Right, okay. So they need editing, it saves them time, but also it's information, right? Because if they don't have information in regards to what makes a successful video, how do you edit a video which is going to get more and more views, these kind of things YouTubers are trying to learn, right? So you understand, right? If you're going to target YouTubers, you have to target it in a very specific way. So rather than saying, you know, I've got a program that helps YouTubers, right, that can help them edit videos better, you could say something along the lines of, I help YouTubers learn editing which can explode their channel in, let's say, 90 days. So you can even put here, right? You can even put here new, just so you could be a little bit more specific, right? So you could say, I help new YouTubers learn editing, which can explode their channel in 90 days. Now, doesn't that sound better than I help YouTubers learn how to edit? Like, that just sounds so much better. You've positioned it in a really, really good way, which is attractive to your target audience. And this is sort of your like I help statement, right? So you help your audience, you teach them a certain skill, you tell them the result, and you tell them the time frame. So these things are very, very important, right? Now you've got your customer profile that you're looking at. So in this case, it's YouTubers or new YouTubers. Learn editing, which can explode their channel in 90 days. So you see how easy that is, right? Literally, look, we identified a skill, we identified an ICP, we then created an I help statement, which talks about who you're helping, how you're going to help them, what the result's going to be, and also the time frame. And I'll give you another example, right? So I help people start their own coaching programs and start their own info businesses, exactly like an example that I've just given right now. So if you do need any help starting your own online coaching business, which can literally scale you to over 10K a month, make sure you click the link in the description below and you can book in a call with me. Right, so now you've got your I help statement. The next thing that you need to do is come up with pricing. So we've worked out in 90 days, right? That's the duration. Again, it depends on your niche, how long it takes you to teach someone, that kind of stuff. So I've just put 90 days as a generic thing. A lot of people do 90 days as a generic thing, but for yourself, you can obviously put in the time frame that is required for you. Now, based on the time frame, based on who you're helping, and based on everything else, you're going to come up with a price point. So your pricing is very, very important, right? Now, don't make the mistake of charging low ticket. Low ticket is like $500 or even $1,000, right? It can be considered low ticket. You don't want to charge low ticket, and I'll explain why. Because let's say you charge $500, right? Well, you need about 10 clients to make $5,000. And to manage 10 clients and only make $5,000, honestly, guys, it's not worth your time. You'd rather charge $5,000 and only get one client. And it will just make your life a lot easier, because what will happen is if you charge $5,000, you're only going to attract high quality clients. Whereas if you charge $500, you're going to attract really, really low quality clients who are just going to waste your time, not learn anything, complain that you didn't help them, and most likely will probably ask for a refund. Now, you don't want to work with these type of people, right? You want to work with high quality people, high value people. You don't want to work with people that are just going to waste your time and just cause you more issues down the line. In this case, right, let's come up with an example with the price point. Now, price point is an interesting one, right? A lot of people struggle with this, but the best way to come up with a price is understand your value and understand what they're going to get from it, and look at it from the yearly thing, right? If they were to implement what you taught them for a year, how much money would they make? So for example, you help YouTubers learn editing, which can explode their channel in 90 days. Let's say, right, they were able to get 10,000 subscribers throughout the year of learning your editing and all that kind of stuff. Now, I know from experience, if you have around 10,000 subscribers, you can make a good amount of money through sponsorships and also a little bit through AdSense, as well as mainly through affiliates as well. So you could easily make about $4,000 or $5,000 a month if you got around 10,000 subscribers. Again, it depends on views and that kind of stuff, but I'm just generically speaking, right? You can make around $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month if you have around 10,000 subscribers. So let's just say $5,000 a month they would make, right? Let's look at the lower end. So if they make $5,000 a month, they'll make about 60K a year, right? So you should always look at roughly at 10%, around 8 to 10% of what they're going to make. So in this case, they're going to be making, let's say, 60K a year. 10% of that is about $6,000, right? Now, I would say because you're starting out in the beginning, it's best to charge a little bit lower because you could always increase your price later on. So in my opinion, if you're starting out, I think the best way for you to do this, charge $4,000, okay? So $4,000, great entry point for this type of example. Again, if you're doing a different niche or doing something completely different, obviously you'll charge slightly differently, right? Either $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. Yes, you can even charge $6,000, $7,000, right? I know people that are charging like $10,000 a month for their program, and they have so many clients, which means that they're making like 200, 300, 400K a month. And you can imagine the types of clients they're working with are extremely high quality, and that's exactly what you want. So now let's say you're charging $4,000, right? And I'll go into how you get clients later on in the video. But I want to first make sure that you understand that $4,000 for one client literally means that that will probably replace most people's, monthly wages, because that means you only need one client a month to replace your 9-to-5 income. Now, if you were to get, right, let's say as an example, 3 clients, okay, which means you would make $12,000 if you only get 3 clients a month. Now think about that for a second, right? $12,000 only signing 3 clients. 3 people, literally just 3 people pay you $4,000 and you'll make 12 grand. So you can already see how simple and easy this business model is, and how easy it is to actually charge high prices, because a lot of you guys probably think that no one's going to pay me $4,000 or $5,000 or whatever the case is, right? But this is just your limiting beliefs. You need to get out of thinking like that, because there are so many people that will pay you more than this, right? But you have to get out of thinking that they won't pay you. The reason why a lot of you guys think like that is because you've kind of been suppressed, you've kind of been programmed to think a certain way, right? Now you need to break out of that, because there are people that are going to pay you even more than this. And it's worked out with some of my clients as well, right? A lot of my clients thought, that no one's going to pay them this kind of money. And they were very surprised when people were actually willing to spend that kind of money. There are a lot of people that actually have money. So you don't need to worry about, who's going to pay me $4,000. There are people with a lot of money and they will pay you. So you've worked out your pricing, right? And one thing I actually forgot to mention is obviously part of your deliverables, right? So if you have a 3-month program, for example, you need to work out how many calls they're going to get throughout the 90 days. So the best way to do it, and in my opinion, you can do this as a starting point for any niche, or just generally a lot of people do this, even if they're advanced, right? Is giving up 1 hour a week. So 1 hour a week on a coaching call with your client, okay? So 1 hour a week for 90 days, which means you only work 12 hours across 3 months, okay? So if we look at this example where you have, 3 clients at $4,000, right? That's 36 hours spread across 3 months, which makes you $12,000, which basically means you're working 3 hours a week to make $12,000. Quite easy, right? Very, very easy to make that kind of money. So now the next thing is, okay, you've got your program, you've got your niche, you've got your deliverables, your program, all of that kind of stuff. How do you actually get clients, right? How do you get people to firstly identify you and know about your program and then pay you that kind of money? Now, this is where it's really important, right? This is so important that a lot of people actually still at this point don't know how powerful this platform is, okay? What you need to do is create a YouTube channel, okay? Now, this is so important. A YouTube channel, like YouTube is so powerful. And I know this firsthand, right? I've been doing YouTube just over 3 years. So when I first started YouTube, I was using YouTube as my business, right? And it was a very big mistake, because you can't guarantee views. You can't guarantee, the algorithm is going to go in your favor. You can't guarantee that your channel is just going to explode one day and get loads and loads of views. You just can't guarantee that. Whereas when I started using YouTube for my business, everything changed, right? Because using YouTube as your business, you're reliant on views, you're reliant on sponsorships. Things are kind of out of your control, right? Whereas when you use YouTube for your business, well, it's like a whole different ballgame, because YouTube creates trust because it's long form content. If you look at Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, even to a certain extent, a lot of it's short form content, right? And short form content is like 30, 60 seconds, sometimes longer. But let's say 60 seconds is for argument's sake, right? 60 seconds, if you watch a 60-second video of someone, you're not really going to know, like, or trust them. It's just too quick of a video for you to understand everything about them, right? Because trust nowadays is so important. And Google basically did a study that it takes about 7 hours of content across, I think, 3 or 4 different platforms before someone buys with you. Now you can imagine how many TikTok videos that would take, right? If they were 60 seconds each. Whereas if you have a YouTube video that, let's say, is half an hour long, you only need about 14 videos or 15 videos to convert. And that can be done at scale, right? Because it's not just going to be one person watching your 30-minute video. You could have like 100 people watching your 30-minute video. And after like your 14th video, you'll have so many people that will just be willing to buy from you. So that's why having a YouTube channel is so important. And in fact, I would argue it's non-negotiable, right? Ads work, and yes, you can pay for ads. The only issue with ads is that it's not going to build trust. Yes, you'll get traffic, yes, you'll get attention, but you won't be able to nurture them enough to get them to buy your program. And ads kind of works alongside YouTube. If you can do that, 100% it works really well. But using ads alone is probably not the best idea, because you're leaving money on the table. And a lot of people don't want to create a YouTube channel, right? Because they don't want to put their face out there. Look, you need to get over that. You need to grow up. If you want to actually make money, if you understand how important personal branding is, trust me, you guys will just jump in front of a camera without any issues. And it's a skill, right? With anything, it's a skill. You need to learn to get in front of a camera, speak in front of the camera, just like I'm doing right now, which will literally help you tremendously. Now, again, in my program, I help with all of this, okay? So I help with actually building out your YouTube channel. I help with actually building out your program. I help with actually coming up with the pricing. I help with actually coming up with the skill. Literally everything in your business, from the ground up to even getting clients, even creating content on YouTube. I will work with you on a one-to-one basis and scale you to 10K a month. Now, if that does sound interesting and something that you want help with, you can book in a call with me by clicking the link in the description below. We'll jump on a call and I can see exactly how I can help you. Right, so you create a YouTube channel, and I'm gonna give you some secret sauce, right? The first video on your YouTube channel should be about your story. Okay, so you create a video just talking about your story in your specific niche. Okay, this is a great icebreaker for your channel, so people can understand you a little bit more and get to know you, right? Because you're introducing yourself to YouTube, right? People don't really know who you are. your story is important. So you should always make like a my story video. So make like a my story video, okay? So in this case, let's say video editing, right? You can talk about how when you started video editing, you were terrible. You can show some old clips of videos that you edited and they weren't great. You can then maybe show some testimonials of, you know, people's videos that you've edited. Not only that, you can show the examples of how you've improved. You can also show some client testimonials if you have any where edited their video and it got like a bunch more views compared to the other videos on the channel. So there are many ways you can do this, right? You could do this in so many different ways. So yeah, just obviously create like a my story video, which breaks the ice on who you are and what you do. Then all you need to do, right, is make videos on your niche and talk about specific things, right? So for example, if you're talking about video editing, you can talk about how to add B-rolls or how to do visual effects, or, you know, people are editing the wrong way when they do this. Make a bunch of these videos. Like, it's very, very easy to make a bunch of these videos. So just make a bunch of these videos, talk about specific things that people in the niche are struggling with, talk about specific things where you can actually help them. Obviously, what you need to do in your YouTube videos is have a CTA. Now, a CTA is just a call to action, right? Which is something I've done a few times in this video already, which is, for example, if you need any help with building out your coaching program and you need one-to-one help with that, well, you can click the link in the description below and book in a call with me. That is a CTA, that is a call to action. That is something that you need to do in every single video. And you need to do it at least a minimum of 2 times, right? Because I think there was a study which shows that if you mention it more than once, they're 30% more likely to do that action. So this is very important, right? You need to make sure your CTA in every video is there. So just make videos after videos. So video 1, video 2, video 3, okay? Now, just before you obviously start your YouTube channel, make these videos, right? The one thing I just forgot to mention is that you need to have a landing page or a Calendly page, right? Now, if you're starting out, the least friction would be having a Calendly page, because with a Calendly page, you can literally just have like your calendar, they're sort of prompted to book in a call with you straight away. Now, you can also create a landing page and have a VSL and then book a call option. That also works really well. Obviously, you need to make sure your VSL is good. Now, if you don't know what a VSL is basically a video sales letter, which is basically promoting your program and talking about how good your program is and how it can help the person that's clicked on the website. So you need to make sure you get those things done. You put that link in the description of your YouTube channel and your YouTube videos. So for example, you'll see on mine where it says work with me and then the link. So literally exactly like that, you just do that for your YouTube channel. Now, what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna make all these videos. You're gonna make videos after videos after videos. What's gonna happen is you're gonna start seeing sales calls booked, right? So you'll get an email. If you've got a Calendly link, you'll get an email saying this person has booked in a call with you. What's great about Calendly even tells you the location they're from and all of that kind of stuff, right? So you know if they're serious or not. So when you have these sales calls booked, what you then need to do is obviously jump on the sales call, okay? So jump on the sales call. So you just jump on the sales call, right? Once you jump on the sales call, you go through a presentation. Now, on that presentation, you talk about yourself, you talk about your program, you talk about everything that you can do to help them. And apologies, slightly before that, you ask them questions, okay? So you ask them questions which will qualify them to make sure that they are the right client and the right fit for your program. Because what you don't want is someone to join your program who's not right fit and who just won't get the results, right? You only want to help serious people. Now, once you do that, you go through the presentation. What will then happen is that they'll objection handle. So they might have some questions back, or they might have some excuses why they can't join your program. For example, I need to think about it, or I need to speak with my wife, or whatever the case is, right? You need to find a way to handle these objections so you can actually get them to join your program. So once they are happy, right? Let's say you've done well on objection handling, they want to join your program. What do? Well, you send them a payment link, okay? So a payment link is literally a link where they pay you, okay? So this can be through Stripe, this can be through fan bases. Again, it depends on your payment processor. I would recommend Stripe, especially if you're starting out. And then, yeah, they will pay you on that call. So let's say, obviously in this case, right, it was $4,000. So they will pay you $4,000 straight up front. And that's it. Now you've got a client, right? Now, all you have to do is build on that and provide value to them through your coaching program through 90 days. So in this case, you're going to be teaching them video editing for 1 hour a week over 90 days so that they can explode their YouTube channel in this case, right? So honestly, guys, it's as simple as that. I've literally laid down the full blueprint on how you can actually start this coaching business today and make some serious money. Now, if you do need any help with this, right? Because I'll be honest, doing all of this might look easy, right? It looks easy on paper, but when you are doing it, you will make mistakes, you will struggle, and you will not do it correctly, especially if you're doing it for the first time. Now, you can either pay with time, or you can pay with money. Now, if you are serious in investing in yourself and starting a business that can easily generate you more than 10K a month, well, make sure you click the link in the description below and book in a call with me. And if you're struggling to actually start a business and you're wondering why you aren't able to start a business, well, make sure you click the video that you see on your screen, and I'll see you guys there.